Good morning and welcome back to Illiterate Greek as we take another look at anointing. Today I want to take a look at two most significant anointings in the Old Testament of Saul and David and the differences between them. So in 1 Samuel 10 it says, then Samuel took a vial of oil and poured it on Saul's head and anointed him. In 1 Samuel 16 it says, Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed David. So two different words there, vial and horn. So the word vial is the Hebrew word pak, H6378, and it simply means a flask liquid or oil can flow from. The other word is horn, keren, H7161, it's a container for oil. Now the significance of those two different vessels is that a vial was associated with God's wrath and judgment. So Saul was the choice of God's people for king, and God simply allowed it to show the people what lack of discernment would bring about to them. The horn, however, was associated with God's empowerment and guidance, and David was God's choice, therefore he wanted to empower and guide him. In the Old Testament there are 12 recorded anointings, 12 being the number of government. Saul was the 6th anointing, and 6 is the number of man, and Saul was the choice of men, the choice of the people. Interestingly, God called Saul the captain of Israel, but never called him the king, because it was the king who chose him as the people who chose him as king, not God. And Samuel argued with the people greatly over this, but in 1 Samuel 8 we see, nevertheless the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, no, we will have a king over us, that we may be like all the other nations, and that our king may judge us and go up before us and fight our battles. So the children of Israel were kind of little children, like, my dad's bigger than your dad, my God's bigger than your God. The people made their choice. Proverbs 14 reminds us, there is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. So the people got what they asked for. David, however, was the 7th anointed one, 7 being the number of perfection. And David was God's choice. And in 1 Samuel 13, of Saul, Samuel says, but now your kingdom will not endure. The Lord has sought out a man after his own heart, and appointed him ruler of his people, because you have not kept the Lord's commandment. Saul's history as king was a history of doing what he wanted to do, not what God wanted to do. And in 1 Samuel 16 again, the Lord said to Samuel, the Lord does not look at people how people look at them. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. And David's heart was tender toward God. David grew closer in his long hours alone tending the sheep, and he learned to trust God and get close to him. David was accredited with writing 73 of the 150 Psalms. A couple of particular Psalms, Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. Or Psalm 51, create in me a clean heart, O God. They speak of the Lord, of David understanding that the Lord is his shepherd, but also his heart, that he wanted God to create a clean heart in him. And God's response to David was, does the Lord take as great a delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as he does in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. David heard God, and unlike Saul, David obeyed God.